I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Anheuser-Busch has scored an own goal, kicking the ball firmly into their own net. And now they're going to look around for some scalps to blame the mistake on, right? First in line was the vice president of marketing, Alyssa Heinerscheid, who was reportedly forced to take a leave of absence. Another marketing chief, her boss for Anheuser-Busch's major brands, was also instructed to take a vacation. And again, it was reportedly not voluntary. Will this be enough to stem the tide? Anheuser-Busch basically doubled down, explaining from time to time they work with influencers. Initially, the stock sold off $6 billion when this all kicked off, which was widely reported as a loss or a cost, but it wasn't. It was just their stock price going down, making the company worth $6 billion less. And the stock is currently back near where it was when the Dylan Mulvaney malarkey all ensued, which is up more than 11% year over year so far, or this year so far, sorry. And so what gives really? I mean, a few marketing VPs go rogue and bruise a solid brand, but financially, the world is almost back to where it started. We don't know what the sales will be, but there definitely will be a dip. Are there any lessons to be learned here? Or is the national attention span so short that come December, it'll be a case of no harm nor foul? All right. My next guest knows a thing or two about branding. Please welcome into the show, Rebecca Walser. Rebecca, it's a soap opera. It's the second time we've covered it because it keeps coming up and on the cow phone, and our viewers like it, but it keeps growing and it doesn't stop. I mean, now her boss is forced to take a vacation, and I went back and looked at the stock price. It's back basically where it was. I mean, give or take. But I'm sure some sales will be affected. But is this kind of in the rear view? I mean, come December, like I said, is it going to be no harm, no foul?
I don't think so, and I certainly hope not. And probably the truth is yes, because of the corporatism, fascist nature of what's going on right now. A couple of things with InBev. So let's remember Anheuser-Busch, InBev. Let's remember that InBev bought them. It's a European, obviously, yes. That bought them in 2008. So we already have that kind of, people think of it as an Americana brand still, and that's because of their marketing that has done so well. Right. But this is a European company. Let's be very clear about that.
That's a great point.
So when you're talking about wokeness and Europe, we are in a different place than Europe as far as wokeness. It's a lot more mainstreamly accepted and has been pushed and shoved down their throats, I think, for a lot longer, and they're a lot more about it. Americans we are rebels, we are renegades, and we will always be, especially when it comes to Europe. We want to do things our way. And so this probably was not well thought out at all. And if you go back and you look at Bud Light, I just very quickly tangentially looked at marketing campaigns, and they know Bud Light is an Americana brand that is attached to young wealth building, meaning that you're kind of not able to buy the upper scale beer just yet. You're sticking to a budget beer that still you love, that gives you the hot dog ballpark, American apple pie feel. And this company, like many other corporatist companies, thought, hey, let's go and expand into an arena really of that's not mainstream, and they're trying to make it mainstream, Scott. And this is the thing that people need to understand, is that they are leveraging. When I say they, I'm talking about these groups that are pushing us to a centralist, globalist, one world sort of century goalpost. They want everyone to get to every lifestyle is okay. There's no judgment of any kind. You're not better than me. Everything is okay. It's an extreme viewpoint, and to push it commercially, viably with Americana type products, they're gonna see this. Now, how you will see it affect in December is if the actual earnings, if the sales if the beer cases at the stores stay full of Bud Light when everything else is sold out and the sales are actually impacted, Scott, that's when we're going to actually see, real pullback. But for right now, you're right. It's a 20-second headline on a 24-hour news cycle, and we really have to see some staying power here. And this is going to come down to the consumer. Is a European company coming in and buying out a business and then switching who the target demographic really is or what they believe in? Is that enough to make you not buy that beer? Because if you keep buying it, you should keep getting what they're giving you.
1,000%. I can't agree with you more. And, You just brought up something I think is an extremely great point. I lived in England for 16 years, right? They don't consider themselves European, but basically are. And I've traveled obviously for work all over Europe, I mean, everywhere.
Absolutely, me too.
Nobody really has brought up the fact that this is really a European company. With they're going to invoke their European morals and standards upon a lot of the ad campaign, regardless of who they're hiring. A woman out of New York, it doesn't matter. And so I feel as though they knew exactly what they were doing. This is kind of maybe exactly what they wanted to do, and they were actually probably shocked that we pushed back as much, because I know in Europe, even though people travel to London, Paris, Germany, whatever. They still have a very socialist bent to them. I mean, everything.
Absolutely. And
so much so that I even went against what I was thinking, right? And so this socialist idea, you're absolutely right. It's a European country putting pressure on us with an ad campaign that just did not fit America.
Listen, I was upset about the InBev acquisition of Anheuser-Busch as an American all around. It bothered me to my core, but I will tell you something else, Scott. Anheuser-Busch had the best theme parks. One is in my backyard in Tampa here. And since InBev's taken it over, wow, what a freaking difference to the downside. So, Anheuser-Busch was true Americana, and this is just another result.
There we go. I'm going with that point. I'll give you credit, but I love the fact that you're right. It's a European company, and they're pushing it all over.